Hello, my name is Kaelyn, and my friends Ravi, Aqib, and I have a problem, specifically with breast cancer diagnostics. Let me show you what I mean.
I'm taking charge of my health today. My doctor sent me to get a routine breast exam.
Your scan looks good. We didn't find any cancer.
Something didn't feel right, but I trusted the doctor.
My granddaughter did have breast cancer, and the doctors couldn't find it. If they had seen it sooner, maybe we wouldn't be here. With all of today's technology, there must be a better way.
To combat this issue, AI solutions are already being implemented.
And Therapixel is one of those companies. Here's Lucia Perez, who's an engineer and application specialist who's worked on MammoScreen AI for enhanced breast cancer detection.
The main diagnostic tools that I use are the mammography and the tomosynthesis for breast cancer detection. Therapixel is really focused on the cancer detection because it's the most important thing that is going to help the radiologist with the complex diagnostic that is the breast cancer detection. It has been proven that they have better performance with this assistant tool to improve their detection rates. And also it's going to help with their fatigue because during the long day, the attention is not the same. So if you have an assistant tool, it's going to help you finish the day less tired.
These systems have been able to detect up to 29% of missed cancers and reduce false positives and, by corollary, radiologist workload by up to 62%. That means more cancers are found and fewer women live through the trauma of a false scare. Cancer is not rare. From breast cancer alone, in the US, over 300,000 men and women are diagnosed each year, over 42,000 of them being fatal. This is a significant real-world challenge, and the investments underline that fact. Today, the market for breast cancer is about $5 to $6 billion, and for computer-aided detection, it is almost $1 billion. AI systems for breast cancer make up a huge chunk of these markets at about $500 million and are projected to reach to about $6 billion by 2033.
The investments continue because this is a huge issue that affects millions of people every year. Not only patients, but their family and their friends and their providers. And in sensitive situations such as these, every second counts. I know this because in 2023, my brother was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma, and the doctors say if they had found it a month later, he wouldn't be with us today. That's why I know every second counts. One of the people involved in his treatment journey was Kaelyn Cho, who agreed to talk to us about the current issues that cancer diagnostics face.
It can take you 10 weeks to get in from treatment from a cancer diagnosis. So you can imagine, radiologists going through scan and scan and scan and looking at this, how fatigue can play a factor in your ability to read. Or in some cases, you're looking at one part of the imaging, but there may be another part which may be showing something else that maybe should be highlighted or recognized. A radiological read was missed. And the impact of that can be profound and even life-threatening.
These life-threatening misreads are what the current AI systems are trying to eliminate. They pull image scans and highlight the region that looks suspicious. But for almost 2 decades, the basic pattern hasn't really changed. Behind the scenes, it's still trying to draw circles with straight lines. It works, but only if you keep adding more lines, more parameters, and that means more computation. Our mission is to make the decision neuron smarter. We replace the standard artificial neural net head with a CAN head, that is Kolmogorov-Arnold network. On the screen, you'll see the difference. The CAN head adapts smoothly to new data with less time and energy. We don't touch the hospital workflow. Same images, same pre-processing, same feature extraction pipeline.
In both the traditional models and our CAN model, the structure and the results are pretty much the same. But here's a difference that really matters. Our CAN model uses 40% fewer perceptrons in the decision layer. And the decision layer is run every single inference, so every time a scan is run. Reducing that layer by 40% translates to significantly fewer operations per inference, resulting in faster times, less GPU time, faster onboarding, and a decision layer is still expressive enough to capture subtle clinical differences.
We did further experimentations on breast MNIST dataset. For training, we used the AdamW optimizer with cosine annealing learning rate schedule, and we applied early stopping based on validation area under curve. For ANN head, we have the linear layer followed by the Gaussian error activation function followed by the linear layer. For CAN head, we have a spline basis expansion followed by a linear layer. Here, spline basis expansion maps feature vectors from D dimensions to D times K dimensions. In summary, these results suggest we don't necessarily need very large heads for this dataset. If the priority is catching positives, we lean towards CAN. Here we have the training and validation performance. Here we have to note one thing, that researches and experimentations have shown that CAN require more epochs to train compared to ANN. So we train CAN for a few more epochs than ANN. We can see that CAN already has reduced training loss compared to the ANN. Moving to the validation graph, we see that the ANN shows much more oscillations than CAN, suggesting overfitting of the model. We move to train accuracy and we see CAN provides better results here. Next, we have the validation accuracy. This also suggests that CANs are much better. Finally, we see as we increase the number of K parameters, the model AUC decreases, suggesting for this dataset, we need less K parameters for training. CAN show better performance on unseen data, even when it has less trainable parameters, while ANN lacks classification power, even when parameter count is increased. In conclusion, CANs have shown to perform better than ANN in breast image classification.
We also designed and implemented a custom CUDA code for our model, since the GPU saves 87 to 93% across the runtime for these machine learning models, due to the massively parallel capabilities of the GPU. We are not on a mission to make our model louder and flashier. We are just refining the final whisper that this might be cancer. The future is big, and as Kaelyn says,
And how AI can play a role is actually something that I think our patients want, you know? And so having a check and balance such as AI that might detect something that the human eye may overlook, I think is reassuring. We get so much data, so to help us interpret the data more large scale and in a faster time, I think is essential. It would be wonderful if we could say like, yeah, guaranteed we can treat you in 5 days after a major diagnosis. You know, that would be so ideal. And then you just move on, you know, and your outcomes can be so much better. So those are the kind of things that I dream of and I hope for, you know, with the advancement of technology.
A miraculously fast outcome is what saved my brother. And that quality of care should be the norm, not the exception. We have a responsibility to make it that way, so that more families like mine can rediscover the joy of Pokemon cards, since that brother buys way too many. And so that more people like my brother can continue to follow their dreams. And so that big sisters like me can continue to be heckled daily, just the way it should be.